Taxation. Now in taxation there are some terms. First is tax burden and tax incidence. Tax burden and tax incidence. So without wasting time. Now there are some terminologies in your taxation chapter which UPSC used to ask you. Okay. So first we'll cover those terminologies. Okay, in a fast manner. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Now burden and incidence. So basically the burden is one that who pays the tax, or you can say the person whose money, or you can say tax money is collected. Okay. Or you can say from whose pocket tax is paid. Okay, so from whose pocket tax is paid, that is called as tax burden. Now when it comes to tax incidence, okay, when it comes to tax incidence, it is that person or that entity who takes the responsibility that such tax amount will reach to the concerned tax authority, or you can say a person or entity who takes responsibility that such amount will reach to the concerned tax authority. आप इसको ऐसे समझ सकते हो. For example, when it comes to income tax, okay, so in case of income tax, it is the same person. It is the same person who pays the tax, means tax burden is on same person, as well as it is the responsibility of the same person that such amount must reach to the concerned authority. Whereas when it comes to GST, so you join KSG, so tax is paid by you, but whatever GST you have paid to the KSG, so KSG take the responsibility that it will reach to the concerned authority. So that is called as, okay, that is called as you can say tax incidence. So I hope this is clear to you. So in the case of direct tax, tax burden and tax incidence is on same person. Okay. Whereas in the case of indirect tax, tax burden and incidence is on different person. So दोबारा बोल रहा हूँ, tax burden का मतलब the one who is paying tax, or okay, or you can say the one who will pay tax from his pocket, that is tax burden. Incidence means the one who collects the tax and such that this tax must reach to the concerned authority. So अगर आप income tax की बात करो तो वो pocket भी आपकी pocket से जाएगा पैसा, और आप ही की responsibility है कि वो tax authority तक पहुंचे. So it means in the case of income tax, or that is a case of direct tax. So in the case of direct tax, burden and incidence is on same person, whereas in the case of indirect tax, burden and incidence is on different person. This is what you have to remember, number one. Number two, next is that what you have to remember with respect to tax base. So tax base is basically the items, or you can say economic activity on which taxes are levied by the government. Okay, on which taxes are levied by the government. So ultimately what I want to say, that for example agriculture income is outside the tax base, so you will see that on agriculture no tax is imposed. Similarly, so we can say that it is outside the tax base. Similarly, you can see that after 2019, okay, or you can say before 2019, there was no tax on cryptocurrency. We introduced it after 2019, so we can say that we have increased our tax base. Clear? Is it clear to you? Okay, so we can say that we have increased our tax base. Number 3, there is a term tax planning. Tax planning, which is also called as tax shelter, which is also called as tax avoidance, which is also called as tax planning. Sorry, tax avoidance, tax holiday. So you can say the same name of one person, or you can say different name of one person. So one name is kept by your parents, one is your nickname, one name is kept by your friends, one name is kept by someone dear one. Okay, so you can say it is like this. Clear? Okay, so अगर हम यहाँ पर बात करें, okay, tax planning, tax shelter, tax avoidance, tax holiday. So ultimately government used to give you so many benefits to save your tax. Okay, that is called as tax planning. So for example, if you invest your money, okay, so whatever income you are earning, okay, whatever income you are earning, so for example, you are earning 10 lakh rupees. Now on 10 lakh rupees you have to pay 10% as a tax. So it means how much tax you have to pay? You can say 1 lakh rupees. So ideally you earn how much? 9 lakh rupees. Okay, so out of 10 lakh, 1 lakh you give to the government. Why? Because you have to pay the income tax of 10%. So in your pocket how much money is left? 9 lakh. But government gives you one option that out of 10 lakh, if you invest 2 lakh rupees, for example, in some government small saving schemes like provident fund, okay, like Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, like pensions, like insurance product. So it means out of 10 lakh, suppose you 2 lakh rupees, you invest in insurance, for example. So now government will impose tax only on 8 lakh. Okay, so rather than 10 lakh, they will impose tax only on 8 lakh, and 10% of 8 lakh is basically, what will be the 10%? 80,000. So ultimately earlier you were paying 1 lakh, now you are paying 80,000. See how much you save? You save 20,000. Okay, so this is a case of tax planning. This is a case of tax planning, or you can say tax avoidance. So you can say this is the legal way to pay less tax or avoid tax. Okay, so this is the legal way to pay less tax. Clear? Is it clear? Please tell me, everyone. So you can say this is the legal way to pay less tax. So it means it is legally allowed, you can say it is legally, okay, legally you can say allowed by the government that you can pay less tax. Okay, is it clear, everyone? Please tell me. Okay, now moving further. Okay, moving further. Similarly, there is another term, tax evasion. There is another term, tax evasion. So in tax evasion, you can say you hide your income. So for example, you earn 10 lakh. So I will take the same example. So in tax avoidance also we take the same example. So please understand it clearly. So you earn 10 lakh. Now out of 10 lakh, 6 lakh rupees you get in your bank account, that is online. Okay, and 4 lakh you receive in the form of cash. So if you are an honest person, you will go to the income tax authority and you will tell that I earn 10 lakh rupees, 4 lakh in cash, 6 lakhs in bank account. But if you does not want to disclose it, so you have a choice that whatever 4 lakh you have earned in cash, you hide this income. Okay, so ultimately when you hide this income, it means you will not pay tax for this, 4 lakh. You pay only tax. You pay tax only for 6 lakh. Okay. Now ultimately whatever income you have hid by not paying the tax, now that money is become black money, and this is called as tax evasion. This is called as tax evasion, and this is illegal. This is illegal. So if government authorities will find you, so they can impose fine over you, as well as they can put you behind the bars. Whereas this tax avoidance or tax planning is a legal one. Clear? Is a legal one. Is it clear to you? Okay, समझ आया सबको? Okay. Now if it is clear, so we have covered, you can say 4 terms. tax burden and tax incidence, tax base, tax planning, which is also known as tax shelter, tax holiday, tax avoidance, okay, and tax evasion. So tax evasion is illegal, and the outcome of tax evasion will be black money, okay, and the outcome of tax evasion will be black money, clear? Whereas tax planning is legal, so it is allowed. So government itself wants that you can go for tax planning, clear? Now another thing, there is another term, tax expenditure. So who will tell me what is tax expenditure? So who will tell me what is tax expenditure? Any idea? Who will tell me what is tax expenditure? Okay. One student has asked, right, government has to spend money to collect taxes. Okay. 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 Tell me what is tax expenditure? It's prelims class, crash course class. Okay, I remember that most of you. Okay. Okay, I remember that most of you will write like this, like Vanshika is saying, the tax expenditure are expenses incurred in the tax collection process. Okay, one student is asking expenses incurred by the government in imposing taxes. Okay, so same thing you are telling. Another student, okay, yes, one of the student has written very well, very good. Tax loss due to tax benefit. See, don't confuse with that tax expenditure. So I know that by seeing this term, many of the students will think that tax expenditure means expenditure spent to collect tax. This is wrong, and definitely you will find this statement in your prelims paper also. Okay, this is wrong. Basically, tax expenditure means expenditure, or you can say revenue foregone, revenue lost, or you can say revenue foregone due to various tax benefit provided, due to various tax benefit provided, okay, provided in due to various tax benefit provided in tax planning. Okay, so we have seen, okay, we have seen that government provide so many tax benefits in the form of tax planning. Okay, so if those benefits are not provided, so ultimately government has tax collection or not? Like for example, in order to save girl child, we launched Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, where government provides this thing that if parents will save money for the, you can say girl, or you can say daughter, okay, so ultimately they will get tax benefit. Now why we have provided this scheme? This scheme is not for boys. Why we have not provided this scheme, or why we have provided this scheme? Because of the evil or social evil against, you can say social evil against the girls. Okay, so that is why we have provided. Similarly, we provide scheme that if you save in the form of insurance or pension, we will give you tax benefit. So ideally people have to do this thing, do themselves this thing, but government is you can say motivating them to do this thing. We will give you tax benefit. Okay, so if you see foreign country, in foreign country people already know the benefit of insurance and all those things, but in India we have to tell them that this is the benefit. Okay, this is the benefit by giving them tax benefit. So ultimately this is, you can say, less tax revenue collection. Okay, due to this, so this is called tax expenditure. So basically tax expenditure is revenue foregone or revenue lost due to various schemes given by the government, or due to various tax benefit given in the form of tax planning. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? Okay. Is it clear? I hope it is clear to you. Okay. Okay. Now moving further. Okay. Moving further, there is another term. Very good. Okay, so don't get confused. Students, those who write like this, ki expenditure incurred to collect the tax. This is wrong. Okay. Now there is another term. Tax terrorism. Now what is this tax terrorism means? What is this tax terrorism means? Okay. What is this tax terrorism means? Tell me. Any idea? Now, if I talk about tax terrorism, don't think that tax terrorism means money collected for or tax collected for terrorism. No. Sometimes you have seen that government authorities or government officials used to harass taxpayers. That is called as tax terrorism. Okay. So, sometimes you will see that, okay, sometimes you have seen that tax officials used to, or undue, or you can say unnecessary, they will, you can say, harass the taxpayers. Okay. So ultimately they send you notice again and again. Okay. Even you have showed earlier that I have paid my tax as per my income, but still they are sending you the notice again and again. This is called as tax terrorism. Okay. This is called as tax terrorism. So you can say tax, when tax officials, okay, you can say harass taxpayers, that situation is called as tax terrorism. Okay, tax terrorism. Clear? Okay. One student is saying tax collection by illegal way. No, beta, it is harassment. Okay, harassment. Okay. So ultimately, this is what you have to understand, tax terrorism. Now, why this term come? Okay. So there is another term, general anti avoidance rule. Now there is another term, general anti avoidance rule. In short, we call it GAR. Okay. In short, we call it GAR. Okay. So when we call it GAR, so general anti avoidance rule. Okay. So in short, we call it GAR. So if you see in GAR, what used to happen? Okay. So when we talk about GAR, okay. So in GAR, you will see one thing, that some people, so we have talked about tax planning. Okay. Tax planning has been given so that people can save tax in a legal manner. But some people, what they used to do, they used to save tax aggressively. Means they are earning 10 lakh. Okay. 10 lakh. Okay. So they invest all their money in such tax planning schemes, and then they say that we have to pay zero tax. Okay. Or you can say very less tax. Clear? So ideally you have to pay 1 lakh rupees tax, but government is giving you benefit that if you invest there, you can save your some 10,000 to 20,000 rupees tax. But some people deliberately do this thing aggressively in order to save all the amount. Or you can say we have to pay very less tax, like 20-30,000. Okay. So this is called aggressive tax planning. Okay. This is called aggressive tax planning. Now, in order to stop this aggressive tax planning, we come out with GAR rules, or Government of India come out with GAR rules in 2017. When in 2017, what is the objective of these rules? that we want to stop aggressive tax planning. But what we have seen that in these rules, government has not defined what is aggressive tax plan. Okay, and when something is not defined, it means it will give power to the tax authority to take action against anyone. Okay, so if I am saving my 25,000, okay, so I have to pay, if tax planning is not there, I have to pay 1 lakh tax, but now I am saving only my 25,000, then also authority send me the notice that this is aggressive tax planning, okay, and unnecessary they are harassing me, so that is tax terrorism. Clear? So this is what you have to understood. So these are the interlinked concept, tax terrorism, these rules. I hope it is connected.